All right, welcome to lesson number 4. I'm really excited now that we're getting into, the meat of the swing. Correct top of backswing, beginning of the downswing. Now, this is most important because address, it's a static position. You can check yourself, feel, I'm doing this wrong, or my, knees aren't bent enough, or I'm too hunched over. You can fix that because it's static. It's a stationary position. As is finish. You can analyze, okay, I'm too weight forward, I lean back, or whatever it is. You can figure that out by, it's a stationary position. The top of backswing is in motion. So you've got to do enough work in the mirror, and maybe with your video camera or your cell phone, and so you know where you are at the top of your backswing. When you come to Orlando, or I see you at a clinic, after about 45 minutes in, and we've got through address and grip and all that stuff, the first thing I ask you is, where was your top of backswing on that swing? Do you know where it was? Well, until you do, until you don't own your swing. So you must know where your correct top of backswing is versus your incorrect. All right, let's go over review from lesson 3 before we get into lesson 4. I had some great feedback. A lot of guys had some questions. I answered most through the email, but here's a couple I want to talk about on camera. Bill, who's a lefty, wanted to know not only top of backswing, but how much tension should be in your front arm. So, for Bill, being a lefty, it's his right arm. For us righties, it's his left arm, your left arm. So how much tension? How much tension is here at the top? Well, tension is created by grip pressure. So here I am with our level 1, level 2 grip pressure, right? My thumb has pressure a little bit. My forearm is a 3 or 4 versus a 5 where I'm squeezing the dog out of it with the grip. Tricep is engaged. So you don't want to have much arm tension except for tricep with your arm being straight, and thumb tension, creating a little forearm because the thumb hinge is what releases that extra 10 miles an hour of club head speed. But we'll get into that. So great question, Bill, along with knowing when you're wrong, and I'm doing it for a righty, is getting good extension but being too far inside. Okay? And that's your left hand, my right hand, bringing the club back by my right shoulder. So again, we'll talk about that in this lesson coming up. Frank had a couple of great points, meaning this is where he wanted questions answered. How far inside should you be? Right? And what I do versus what is correct. Well, if this is my target line, the ball right up against my simulated target line, again, I want to be here. Okay, I want to be here. I don't want to be inside. Now, I get elbow bend, right? Which is the advanced power stuff. Well, if you get elbow bend, your elbow to shoulder, this right here, elbow to shoulder, is still parallel to that red line. So I can go all the way up here. Coming back to here, that's the advanced power stuff that we're going to talk about, but you must gauge your arm. If you have elbow bend, it's still here, parallel to the target line. It can't be in here. Now, Frank says he only gets half power when he goes to here. Well, that means if I put a laser on my shirt button, a big pencil, then I'm getting here but with no chest turn, so it's an arm swing. If you're getting here with a full shoulder, chest, back turn, right? My back is to the target now. Boom, my back is to the target now. My chest is to you. So this is correct, adding a little power, all right? So we'll talk more about that. And again, when I'm teaching and coaching, kind of do as I say, not as I do, because that's my little fault or flaw, is getting a little too far inside. So I want to stay here and up here versus in here. Ball flight's good, I control my shots well. Being a better player, it's kind of okay. But if you're not a good enough player yet, and you want to break that 100 or 90 mark or even 80 mark, really work on keeping your top of backswing on plane, left arm parallel with a little elbow bend. We'll get more into that in a second.